Hi, my name is Judie Vankooiman, and you're watching Life Issues. This month's show is Link House, and my guests are Crystal Brown and Samantha Baresi. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Samantha, I'm going to start with you. What is your professional background?
Yeah, so I've been in addiction treatment for about 10 years now, starting as a recovery specialist, and now I'm the director of women's services for Link House.
Okay, and will you please tell us how the Link House got started?
Yeah, so the Link House got started 53 years ago, actually, on April 3rd. It just was our birthday. Yeah, so we just found that out. But we got started as a community of civic leaders, got together, noticed that there was a really big need for addiction treatment / help after coming back home. So.
Okay. And Crystal, what is your professional background?
Yeah, so I'm the Director of Development for Link House. I've been doing that for the majority of my career at this point, which is crazy. Kind of the job you didn't ever think you were going to do, or you kind of never really thought you were going to get into. And I've been doing this since about 2008. And I started out in development work for nonprofits working with homeless families. And then worked with gambling addiction for a bit. And then I came back to addiction services with Link House.
All right, so a little variety
well,
of
I like a little
titles.
spice, yeah.
Right, cool. And how old is the Link House? You said it just turned 53?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Yeah. So, and how is the Link House, how did they get their name?
Yeah, so actually, it started out as the John Ashford Link House. And John Ashford was someone who struggled with alcohol addiction himself. And he unfortunately passed away. So the community at that time had really come together to try to solve this problem. And they saw an opportunity with naming. But we've kind of taken that name and moved it forward. And we're actually talking about doing a lot more with our communications, because while we've been around for 53 years, not many people know about us. And if they do know about us, it's because someone's gone through our programs, which is great. But what we like to talk about is the linkages of working through recovery, and each link adds to the chain, the rope of working together and moving to a brighter future.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And what is the mission statement, Samantha?
So our mission statement is a continued work in progress, because at the moment, we are very much focused on helping people across the board for their emotional well-being. So we have actively been talking about updating it.
Yeah, so we've kind of expanded our programs. So we actually treat more than just addiction services now. We've added, in 2019, we opened, and we'll get to this a little bit more, the Center for Behavioral Health, which is mental health services, outpatient services for adults. And then 2 years ago, we opened up children's outpatient mental health services. And that was in an attempt to really kind of holistically solve address addiction and mental health problems for the community at large. And in many ways, addiction really is a family problem. Everybody ends up dealing with it or trying to work through it. And if you can do that together with the family, it's usually the best way.
Yeah.
Although people who just want to seek outpatient therapy can also seek services through our work.
And Samantha, can you please tell us what the program highlights are for the Progress House?
Yeah, so the Progress House is men's services, and they're doing amazing work. We got 25 young men that live there and are currently active in their recovery, participating in the community through different events, as well as finding jobs in the community. And kind of just wraparound services. A lot of them even end up giving back to the Link House and even working at other programs.
Okay. And Crystal, what is the program highlights for the Morris Center for Women? Actually, Samantha, that's a question for you.
Yeah. So the Morris Center for Women, we're really focused on women's recovery, which is far and few between in our state, unfortunately. But they have access to groups there. We've been actively expanding our services. We're currently in a huge facelift mode of new halls. We've added workout areas, but the leaders are able to find new jobs and continue on their recovery with a lot of support in their corner.
Okay. And Crystal, when was the Center for Behavioral Health opened?
It was opened in 2019, and it was really trying to meet a need. There's behavioral health care was really a desert land in our area for people who have mass health, which is Medicaid services. So really, we were opening up this additional service to meet the community needs. And we also, right after we did that, and it was really successful, especially through COVID, when people went remote and were really struggling and needing more support remotely, as you can imagine, people started really asking for help for kids. And that became such an overwhelming kind of cry for help that we just said, we're going to just go for this and try this. So that's when we opened up Catch, which is Children and Teen Center for Help, which is children's outpatient therapy, which also takes mass health.
Okay. And what are the services of CBH?
Sure. Yeah, there's many, and they really treat people in an individual way, so case-by-case basis. They're mostly dealing with anxiety, depression, sometimes suicidality, some other more serious mental health concerns. But they're also treating addiction for some folks, but really this one is, you do not have to have any addiction problems in order to see our outpatient therapists. It's really anyone. And the reality is that life is challenging and things arise, and sometimes it's really helpful to work through that with someone. So we try to meet people where they're at and be the best resource for them for however long they may need that help.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
And one of the really exciting things is that we just opened up day treatment services for them too, what was formerly known as IOP.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good. And who does CBH treat?
So that would be adults, and so that could be any adult, and we do take private insurance. We have sliding scale fees as well, and again, we do remote work, so if you feel more comfortable via Zoom, that's fine. We can do Zoom meetings, but if you really want that face-to-face, I think that especially with therapy, people really thrive on having that human connection at times. At least that's what I'm hearing most from the clients that we're serving. But we also will do evaluations, we'll work with courts, probation. We also work with we'll do family therapy sessions so we can kind of cross the bridge of our children's and our adults' outpatient services. And kind of, sometimes we even do family therapy with people that have someone struggling with addiction in their family, but that person doesn't want to be treated. So sometimes you need to work with the family themselves and say, well, how do we best protect ourselves in this situation? So it's really varied.
Okay. And what are the program highlights?
Oh gosh, there's so many. I think that the fact that we are still here and we're trying to do new things and always trying to meet the needs. I think that's really what we've focused on. But I do think our highlights are probably with trying to be more communicative to the outside world and say, like, this is who we are, and then really trying to address stigma in a different way for people, because sometimes being nervous about going to therapy or talking about going to therapy or talking about an addiction, that can be really stressful. And it really keeps people from getting treatment. So I think that what I'll say is our staff is inspiring to me. Over 60% of them have been in treatment themselves for an addiction, and many of them have gone through our own programs. So I think that they speak from that place of experience as well as knowledge, which can be really powerful and can open people up in a different way. So I think that's what sets us apart.
Yeah, great. And Crystal, what does CATCH stand for?
Oh yeah, Center for Children and Teen Center for Help. So that's CATCH. And when they opened only about 2 years ago, so it's really a new program, they started using this kind of phrase, catch kids now. And really what I love about that is that It's about Catch outpatient therapy for kids being a prevention method. So let's keep kids, before you get to the place where you're struggling and you need help, let's work with kids. Let's be the kind of advocates for them. A lot of the kids that we're seeing have lost a parent to addiction, sometimes both parents. They're involved in DCF care, or their grandparents have had to step up and take care of them. About 13% of the kids we're seeing are being raised by a grandparent that was not thinking that this is what they'd be doing in their senior years.
Right.
So they're really struggling in a different way. Of course, we see any kids. So all kids are dealing with anxiety, depression. I think, middle school, high school, those are hard years for every kid.
Nowadays with everything, the kids
Exactly.
are going through so much.
And sometimes you just need someone who can kind of listen and provide a different perspective. So that's what Catch is able to do. And again, it's serving these kids that didn't have any treatment. We're seeing really long wait times. No one was serving them because they had mass health, and it's really hard for a private practice clinician to get you get a small reimbursement for mass health services. So it's hard or impossible for a private practice clinician to meet those needs. So we try to do that by being a nonprofit. We raise funds for the rest of that. So, yeah.
And does the Catch have a mission statement?
It's a similar mission statement, and this is why we're because we keep expanding every couple years, this is why we want to work on this project, where we really talk about what's our new mission statement. How are we serving every population differently, but we still have this main goal of overall health and wellness and having a successful future, whatever that success may look like for you.
Right.
So these are conversations we're kind of just starting, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So we'll have a new answer for you next year.
Okay. And who does Catch serve?
Yeah, so that is a great question. Actually, age 5 to 18. So 5 is that's a young age.
Very.
That's a little different. So, and we see elementary schools having a lot of problems with anxiety, depression, kind of things you wouldn't expect for that age group. But man, these kids are feeling it. I mean, I think that COVID really did a number, and maybe it's more than COVID by now, but we're seeing that there's a lot to talk about at 6 years old, which is more than I was expecting.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Samantha, do you have any volunteers that come in?
Yeah, so we actually have quite a few volunteers that come in, either donating clothes, but more importantly, a lot of them are donating their time for groups. So we have cooking groups, we have somebody doing a Writers for Recovery group for us, and maybe one of our newest is financial literacy. We have a bank coming in and providing that help and support for our ladies.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yes. And Samantha, do you do any fundraisers?
Yeah, so that's much more of a Crystal question.
Yes, we are a beneficiary of Chef's Dinner, which is actually next Tuesday. We're a member of Newburyport Rotary Club. We're also a member of Amesbury Rotary Club. We try to be a part of the communities that we're serving. And so we're a beneficiary of that. We're starting to get into hosting our own fundraisers. We could use some help, so if anyone's interested in that, I would love to talk more.
We'll talk.
Yes, we'll talk.
All right. And Samantha, can you please give us your contact info?
Yeah, so I am the Director of Women's Services. The best number to reach me at is 978-462-2595, extension 405. And that is the number for the Marist Center.
And your email?
It's S as in Sam, B as in boy, ARRESI at link with a K, house, inc with a C, .org.
All right. And Crystal, your contact email?
Email kbrown, just like the color, at linkhouseinc.org.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but that's all the time that we have. Thank you both for all you do for those in need. I love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Please send them to lifeissuestv@gmail.com. And remember, live each day to the fullest and celebrate life. Hi, my name is Judie Vankooiman. I'm the founder and president of Those Who Can for Those in Need.
And I'm Sebastian Lemieux. I'm the treasurer.
We connect people and resources from the greater Boston and North Shore area.
We provide help with elderly, losing a loved one, children, low income, homelessness, mental illness, disease and health issues, substance abuse, domestic violence, LGBTQ, and veterans.
We are Winthrop-based, but like we mentioned earlier, we cover a large area.
Our website is twctin.org, and on there you can find the various resources from the organizations that are with us, past episodes of Life Issues, which is a resource show, and our newsletters.
We hold 2 major events every year. We have our annual comedy show fundraiser in the spring, and early September we have our annual Family Resource Fair. For both events, please check out our website and social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
During our resource fair, our visitors will be able to visit the resource tables, there's food, and also various family activities.
To end, I started Those Who Can for Those in Need in memory of my husband, who passed away in 2007 of cancer. You can go on our website to learn more, twctin.org.
Thank you.